Yeah, bro.
Point. You can't say anything.
You
There is
can't
nothing
explain
you.
anything to an Arsenal fan about winning a thing.
I mean, no matter how much I know how bad the season was for United, ultimately they won the cup. So they wouldn't care. Like I mean, they are having a good summer at this point.
Yeah,
And
vibes are up,
Arsenal,
bro.
yeah,
From
exactly.
from the dead to a trophy.
I know.
I mean, y'all also won the Carabao Cup, and dude, now you know, right? Carabao Cup is not Mickey Mouse anymore. It's a big deal now.
Carabao is
It is.
a
It
big
is.
deal. The moment Liverpool win Carabao, it becomes a big deal. The moment United win it, arey Carabao Cup, what is this
Mickey Mouse.
fake
No,
cup?
that's
Yeah,
just your perspective. I think the Carabao Cup in general, if you win it, it's amazing. If you don't win it, yeah, kya to bhi kuch chalega.
exactly.
Wo,
That's the
Yeah.
narrative
yeah.
every time.
Hmm.
Oh God. All right. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of Full Time Banter, where we are just again bantering about this washed sport called football. Why do you even watch it? Like, we literally saw the final of the Real
Haven't we
Madrid
won it all
Invitational.
between the both of us?
Yeah, man. What is this Champions League and all this like useless leagues that's happening? Real Madrid is
Yeah.
sending out invitations for everybody. Come, please play for us. Let us win more trophies. 15 trophies,
Yeah.
16 trophies. God knows what is happening. But yeah, let's dive straight into it. What were your thoughts on this like heavily awaited but not surprising final result where Real Madrid won again?
Dude, I think Real Madrid at this point made Champions League their preseason tournament. It's basically they're inviting people, they're inviting teams to come and play in that final, so that okay, just so that you have the experience of playing in a final. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an invitation tournament where okay, yeah, this time you want to play. Okay, this is City. This time it's Liverpool, or this time it's Borussia Dortmund, right? And every time it's the same heartbreak. And I think the way they kind of reduce this tournament to almost a nominational basis, I think it's as much as I hate it, as much as I hate the idea of it, it's just so good, man. They just keep finding ways. I don't know how and why, and you can talk about all of the luck or black magic and everything that's involved. It's just that their quality just shines through. And if you look at
Yeah.
the match yesterday, it's almost like a carbon copy replica of the 21-22 Champions League final with Liverpool. We've had all good chances. Mane hits the post, and there's this one guy who hits the post for Borussia Dortmund. Or there's this one-on-one chance which for Salah, which again is saved or something. I can find so many parallels, and ultimately, but I think, as you say, I think the final was
Yeah.
just
Did we lose Abhinav?
I think we're losing. Whenever there's some lag in your end, I think you're getting stuck.
some lag.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you?
I think
Okay,
it's better now. It's
I'm
fine
still
now.
here. I mean, I'm talking. I'm still here, but I'm not sure if there's a lag or anything.
Probably recorded said.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, I mean, like Madrid weren't even the like to me when I was watching the game, they weren't the better team throughout the entire game. I felt like Dortmund clearly had very good chances, and I love how you're showing your support wearing that yellow T-shirt today as well. Like,
Dude,
yeah, the yellow wall, right? Like Dortmund had some
yeah.
very good chances in the first half. They could have been like up by 1 or 2 goals easily, and yeah, I mean they did not take their chances, and Madrid like penalized them heavily at the end. That's what Madrid does, right? There's this weird Champions League DNA that they have in their squad. I don't know how they pass it on to their players every new generation, but
Hmm.
like they just have this ability to score those clutch goals in those clutch moments and then just like hold the game and choke the game till the end.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking at some first half stats here, okay? XG Dortmund 1.68, Real Madrid 0.09 in the first half. 8 shots on target for Dortmund, two for Real Madrid. 3 shots on target for Dortmund in the first half, zero for Real Madrid. I think that sums up
It's
the game.
insane, bro.
Right? Yeah, that is ridiculous. How do you go on to lose a game from that from the first half? This will happen if you don't convert these kind of chances at Real Madrid in a UCL final. Then
Mhm.
I feel like at this point, as you guys said, right, teams should know that they're inevitable. Like it's just a matter of time.
You know what? I think it's exactly like that one of Premier League games, right? Like Liverpool or City, if they go against Fulham or West Brom, and and eventually the quality is through, and then Liverpool, City, West United, they just win the match, right? And at that point of time, we don't give it so much thought because it's bound to happen, because you know that United, Liverpool are superior team, not so much United right now, but Liverpool and City are superior teams, and then they just kind of, I mean, yeah, XG is better or whatever, but the individual brilliance shines through.
Mm-hmm.
And we're only talking about the quality so much right now because it's a Champions League final, because it has so much visibility there. Because for Real Madrid, it's just a thing like, oh yeah, fine, it's fine. I mean, we will withstand the pressure, we'll do whatever it is, we won't. The best thing that they do is that they don't panic. They don't panic. Bayern Munich were literally 88 minutes.
Yeah.
They were right there, like, at their stadium, and they know that they've got it, but still they
Manuel
didn't panic.
Neuer makes a
I,
mistake that he hasn't made in like
Dude,
10
It's
years.
written in the
I'm
stars,
telling
man.
you, exactly. I'm telling you, and this is the black magic that I think Real Madrid has, right? I mean, things that will never ever
Don't tell United fans
Champions League
about
final.
things that never happened that
The
only
Salah.
happened once.
No. No, I know, but I think it's just that these things happen and they don't panic, and they have this aura, and all of those things combined, it's just something, it's written in their DNA at this point.
Yeah. It sort of seems like it. And honestly, I'm so like at the end of it, I was telling Sid this yesterday after the game. The whole
Mhm.
game looked like a Cruz Modric photo op. Like at the end of the day, like that's what they made this for. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
this year. But dude, it's not so. Like I'm glad about one thing, right? This could be one of those times where this could end the supremacy of Real Madrid in the Champions League, because it's not going to be the same format from next year at all. It's a
Yeah.
league. You're playing a lot more games. You're traveling a lot more. Consistency across a certain period of time is what might win you the Champions League. I think that's what we're like. We These guys have just made the Super League, right? Again, and
It's
just
the,
call
it's the
it.
Super League, but in Champions League's flavor. That's what I think the new thing has come.
That's what it's come down to. And maybe, right? And dude, when changes happen, right?
Yeah.
Now think about it. If a lot more clubs are able to play in the Champions League, a lot more clubs are able to pay revenue. So you can't just poach players randomly to like a big team,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
right? So you can't buy fucking Kamavinga for 50 million, 40 million. You
Yeah.
can't buy Chowmini for 40 million and just get away with this shit. I'm watching you to Edu.
Yeah,
You can't just do that
yeah.
shit anymore.
I was just looking at the Champions League projected pots, and
Yeah.
like pot one, it seems like we'll have City, Bayern, Madrid, PSG, Liverpool, Inter, Dortmund, Leipzig, Barcelona. That's like fully packed pot. So like, how does the new Champions League format work? Do we like play across the pots, and like we'll have a league of 8 groups, 8 teams for each group?
Yeah. I'm seeing what the image looks like.
Welcome back.
Sorry, I think there was some issue with my mic or something. Your voice was getting stuck, so I'm
No
like,
worries.
oh,
We have a
rejoin.
question in the chat from Angela saying, "Why don't you guys support Real Madrid and be happy in life?" I think that's a very fair question to ask.
Who's asking?
Angela is
But
asking.
okay, but supporting Real Madrid is, as much as it brings you joy and happiness, and then this never-ending celebrations, it also gets boring at a
Exactly.
point. Like
You
you
get
know,
bored of
it
winning.
is. I know it sounds moronic when you say that I'm getting bored of winning, but it is, in general, it is boring. You kind of slowly but surely lose interest in the sport
Yeah.
that you so are attached to. I mean, and that's what happens. For example, if you take PSG, right? PSG, they are winning the league every season, and it's more or less a certainty. If you support Bayern Munich in the German league, they are
Yeah.
winning the league every season. And this season, yeah, even if they lost to Leverkusen next, they are sure that they're going to win the next season. Because if there
Yeah.
is no competition, if there is nothing, and if there is this sense of inevitability to it, what's the point of supporting? Because you can only enjoy your success at when you go through this soul crushing depression like a Liverpool fan or like
Or
what
like a
United
United
fans are
fan.
going
Yeah, yeah.
through. Yeah, I mean you have to go through that, and then you feel that sense of that slight window of happiness. You know what that guy says in the movie, The Pursuit of Happiness. This phase of my life is called happiness. That's what you strive for, right? I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
Yeah, we are always striving for his 1-0 at Brentford, bro. That's what we're striving for.
1-0 at Brentford is like a season title winning victory for us.
Can you take a guess which one? Which craziness this is?
wait, it's not Leverkusen.
It's not
Wait, what's the
Um,
question?
there's only one team in Europe which won the treble.
this year.
Oh. One team in Europe won the domestic treble, no? PSG.
Yeah. Yeah.
PSG.
They did win.
They
They
won.
did
They
win.
won one Mickey Mouse Cup, one France FA Cup, and one league. Yeah.
But Uber Eats League.
I don't understand the point of PSG and the French league, man. I think they've monopolized it, and
That
then
is
they've got
that is the
to.
PSG Invitational, bro.
Yeah.
But
Can you imagine, bro? Can you imagine these guys thought, like you said, they'd be winning forever, and even
Mhm.
they haven't won when like Emery and Poch were there. Like even they had
I
to see
know.
that Barcelona game. Remember under
Hmm.
Emery? Oh
Yeah.
God, that's
Oh my God, that game, right? Yeah.
yeah,
I think Sergio Roberto was the one who got the winner
yeah,
towards the
yeah.
end. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember
Nene.
that. Yeah.
This is prime Nene in Barcelona. This is an era, dude.
we
Yeah,
have a
I
question in the
know.
chat. Like coming back to the Madrid game, right? Like, uh,
Mhm.
thoughts on Ancelotti getting tactical criticism and statements that he won't work at any other team. What do you guys think? Like Everton coming back from Everton to Madrid, he clearly did not have a good run there. Do you think Ancelotti will actually succeed in any other team right now?
Dude, do you know the last time Everton won a Merseyside derby before this season?
Sean Dyche, no? I don't know. It's like 20,
It
No,
30
was
that
years.
Don
was
Carlo, bro.
it
It
was
was.
Ancelotti, right?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course it was actually. It was only Don Carlo.
Don Carlo.
Dude, he was doing a side quest in Everton. Like somebody told him, like somebody told him, go just hang out here for a bit.
It's like
Dude,
playing an
can you
RPG.
imagine? Everton were fucked. Like they after him, after literally Don Carlo left,
Yeah.
they got points deduction. They lost all their top players, right? And this guy has won a league in every country he's played in, which is ridiculous to me, right? How do you do that? That's Mourinho level shit. And this is his fifth Champions League with a second different team. Anybody that says
Wait,
he's
he
yeah,
got fifth Champions League, or is
Fifth
it
Champions
seventh?
League.
Oh, with a second different team, you're saying.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
he won 5 leagues, 7 finals, one with 2 different teams. Come on, bro. Who's saying he's not tactically good? Like, what else do you need on your
But
CV to
what
say?
is his play style then? Like what is like Guardiola has a clear play style. Like what is Don Carlo vibes?
I
Dude,
mean, you can't say it's completely vibes too, right? I
Yeah,
mean, it's just that he doesn't limit players to express. So I'm 100% sure if you transfer Vinny Jr. to Man City, all he's gonna do is he's gonna do a Grealish. He's gonna go up front. He'll make sure he won't lose the ball. He won't express. He won't try to kind of do some tricks or something which he learned in Brazil, whatever, right? Because Grealish was such a vibes player. He was so creative with Aston Villa. Right now, look at him. I mean, yeah, there are other factors too, but the Guardiola style of football is basically where you don't lose the ball, you make sure you give it to you maximize your chances or something, and don't take any risks in the final third and things like that. But I think what Ancelotti does very well is that he doesn't limit players. He'll just go, he'll tell them, okay, yes, there is a tactical plan. I mean, it's not visible to us so much because they keep conceding so many chances now and then. But I think what he does is he does not, restrict them and say, okay, do this, do that. He'll just okay, because he makes them problem solve on the field. He doesn't solve it from the touchline like Guardiola does.
Dude, I wanna. So I was digging into Don Carlo before this, and apparently everything is done by his son, David Ancelotti, and
Oh.
David Ancelotti has followed him around for a while,
Mhm.
and he's the guy that does all the team tactics, the coaching, like he takes care of all of that. And Ancelotti is the man manager, which is like perfect because you have all. See, when you're in Real, right, you don't need tactics, bro. You have all the quality in the squad. You just need your team to not get a red card in the final. That's it, and you won the game. That's it. That's literally all you have to do. You just have to wait
But
for Cruz to pull
but
out a
that
free kick out of nothing.
but that itself is the criticism, right? Like people are saying that Ancelotti has the best team, has the best players in the best team, and anything you do with that team will just give you a victory. So like what Ancelotti is just telling his players, go out and just play, do your thing, and we will win. Versus Guardiola, on the other hand, is like micromanaging every single aspect of every single player and controlling exactly how the
Yeah.
squad is going to play. So it's like polar opposite approaches. So
But
Exactly, and see what Guardiola did even before winning the Champions League in last year. See what he did with in the 2021 Champions League against Chelsea. I guess he overthought it to a point where he removed Rodri from the starting line and played
correct.
Gundogan as a defensive midfielder, and that's when.
that was
So
the worst decision I have ever seen in my
exactly,
life. Yeah.
exactly, and I think that's the thing. Because okay, if you think of the top two teams right now in club football, I think they're probably Real Madrid and Man City, right? In terms of players and in terms of talent and everything. What Guardiola does, he tinkers too much. He goes beyond a point and he tries to kind of have everything under control. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I think that he doesn't even want to win the match, but he wants to win the tactical battle more. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I
Yeah.
think that's where Ancelotti has a good measure. Okay, yeah, he knows. Maybe Vamshi, the point you made, right? I think he is being more of a man management person, and his son is doing the tactics, right? I think that's where he struck the balance. It's like, yes, there are tactics. I mean, it's not visible so much, especially when they play Man City because they concede so many chances. But other teams and all, yesterday it was very inevitable that okay, they are just soaking up all the pressure. They had Dortmund exactly where they want them to be. They're basically ruining their chances because every chance they get, every single corner they concede, they're going to think, okay, if something happens, maybe this is it. So I think he knows exactly what he has and he's not overdoing it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest difference between Ancelotti and Guardiola.
Sid, I want to tell you this.
Yeah.
Guardiola couldn't win the CL without a proper number 9. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. We've seen it over and over here. Who plays a striker, bro, in Real Madrid? Southampton boy.
There's no striker. Joselu.
Joselu.
But he didn't
Yeah.
even play it yesterday, right?
No, I mean, bro, if there is no tactics and you won the CL without a fucking proper striker,
Bro, you have
like,
Vinicius, you
come
have
on, dude.
Bellingham, you have Rodrigo, you have like Ballon d'Or winner Modric, you have Cruz, you have this Kamavinga, you have a crazy backline, you have a
You
crazy
have
goalkeeper
everyone.
Courtois. Like every position is literally like top three, top two in the world right now. And so if that is happening, even if you don't have a striker, you still have players who want to like take the ball and do something. Like you saw the first goal that happened for Madrid, like that Vinicius, he dribbled at the byline and got the corner, like the backflip dribble nutmeg that he did, right?
Yeah.
No other player can do that. You get a corner and then like just because you have a team like that, you just score from a header like that. So
Cruise.
yeah,
Simple.
cruise
Cruise
control,
control
right?
after
Yeah.
that. After that.
I know.
I'm telling you, it was a Tony Cruz photo op yesterday. Like
Yeah.
that was what it was.
But do you think tactically Dortmund got their team right? Do you think they should have played Sancho
Absolutely.
in the
Yeah.
squad?
Absolutely. Dude,
Like
so I
why
was
didn't
looking at
the
the
manager play
XG chart.
Sancho in the squad at all? Like
Dude, I was looking at the XG chart, bro,
mm-hmm.
yesterday for Dortmund. And this is crazy, right? I was looking at this. So after 30 minutes, they haven't dropped below 1 XG at all. in the whole game, and the graph only kept going up.
Right.
This is
Terzic
Dortmund.
definitely tactically won the battle. Yeah. After 30 minutes, I mean, bro, I have not seen somebody hit the inside of a
Oh
post in a CL
man.
final and not score.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, it was just 2 years ago, man. Sadio Mane, he hit the
Oh
inside of the
yeah,
post.
See, that is the
yeah.
trauma
Do
that you live
not.
with, and when you finally win, you live with the glory that you have. That answers
Yeah,
Angela's question, I think.
Dude,
exactly.
Right
fully.
there.
We're on the same level as Madrid, bro. We've won cups this year.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh no.
They win their Mickey Mouse league with all these like crazy boys.
Yeah.
Dude, the only team that was really good in La Liga this season was Girona, and of course Real Madrid because they're Real Madrid. They have no like Diego Simeone has gone into hiding. I think he's bored of just like finishing third and second his whole life.
I
So
mean, that's
he's
the
in
reason
hiding.
why Madrid keep winning, right? Because they don't have to spend that much energy in the La Liga, and they can just conserve and like play their best squad in the Champions League final. And like, do you buy that argument that Madrid are just like the perfect team for the Champions League because of this?
Yeah, fully because they have more stakes if they lose the Champions League than the La Liga because La Liga
Yeah.
is bro, Santander is done. Like
the,
right?
the whole point is, I think there is so much emphasis. See, for example, even Barcelona and Real Madrid, maybe it's a big deal for Atletico to win the league or Girona or some other team. But
Yeah.
Real and Barca, do they even care about about the leagues right now? It's like Celtic and Rangers, man. I'm telling you, they
Yeah.
don't care. It's as good as that, and that's what I think. It's symptomatic of like the other leagues as well. But the complete onus is on Champions League.
Yeah.
Barcelona is like literally they are going to do unspeakable things just to win a Champions League right now. They don't care because they've won the league last time and they had this best defense, like they considered 12 goals or 13 goals or whatever. And look where they are. Look how disturbed and destroyed they look right now with Xavi leaving and all that. Everything is about Champions League.
Yeah. I mean they got in Hansi, bro. It's not I mean they did do the unspeakable. I don't think Hansi is the guy to go into Barcelona to win them a CL. Yeah, like winning the La Liga is not going to do anything. Maybe Barca fans around the world will sleep peacefully for one night.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, right? That's it. But if you're in the La Liga, you have to play CL. And you have to play
Yeah,
to win. And
I think No, I think Premier League is the only league which kind of carries some weight, some sort of like, okay, if you win something, I mean, City are also kind of doing a mockery of it with whatever the last day wins and all of that shit.
yeah,
But Premier League, at least like people think that, okay, this is what we earned it. Any
yeah,
other league,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, fine, yeah, we won it, and then next time we'll see what
I
happens.
mean, in the
yeah.
Premier
Like
League, you still
even
have
the
a battle
German
for
league is
top
not
four,
easy.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
there is a battle like, oh, we made Champions League football. Like teams like Tottenham, they were trying to get into Champions League. That's a big deal. And then you have La Liga, and you have, yeah, okay, fine, Bundesliga is slightly different, but then you have like Liga, you have Serie A is still better. But what are these leagues where they're just like two teams who are dominating the entire league, and then they just dominate the Champions League because of that?
yeah.
So
Case in point. Yeah,
I hope that the new format does some mitigation to this sort of an effect, where you have to like actually play more games and win more to win the league, win the cup rather.
but still, don't you think it would have made more sense for Dortmund? They were fifth in the league. The only thing they had to concentrate on was this,
Bro, they
right?
had this player called Jadon Sancho. Like I'm telling you, wherever Jadon Sancho goes, like that team falls apart. Like he's the only United player who hasn't won a medal this season. Come on. I
Dude, can
love
you
it.
imagine if he goes back to United, like Garnacho will be giving his like cup medal to him.
Like all the players in the dressing room will be biting their medal, and then they'll be wearing the Sancho.
Yeah.
Hey, come.
Sancho
Wait,
still not apologizing. you know.
wait, I guess why do you hate him so much at this point? Is it just because of all the drama with Eric Ten Hag, or is in general has he not been a good team
Abhinav, tell
player?
me one career highlight of Jadon Sancho, bro. Tell me one.
I don't know, the transfer saga and Fabrizio
That's it.
Romano kind of
Exactly.
dicking us around for
Here,
like
There is
1
here
year.
you
no
go and
career
the chip.
highlight for Jadon Sancho. His
Yeah.
career highlight was missing the pen in the Euros.
Oh right, yeah, it was Rashford and Sancho, right? Both of them were substituted,
Yeah,
and then they
Saka
missed the
also.
pen. And, yeah, I
yeah,
mean, we won't forget Saka forever,
yeah.
but then they missed two before that.
Yes,
Yeah,
they did. They did miss, and yeah, and then Rashi missed at the end.
I
Of
know,
course,
I know.
I mean,
dude,
Sancho,
that was
every game he plays, he just like wants to add to its highlights reel. He will do a couple of dribbles, he'll do something here and there, but end product is zero. Like, there's nothing that he contributes towards actually getting the team to play better. And you see it everywhere. You see it in England, you see it in Dortmund, you see it at United. So,
I'm
Dude,
fully
I'm
convinced that he stat padded his numbers when Haaland was in Dortmund. Fully, because zero stats. This, I mean, he played the whole season technically, sort of, at Dortmund.
yeah. He got
I'm
what, three
so
goals,
pissed,
three
man.
assists. That's
Especially
it. Yeah, go on.
exactly, and one of those goals. No, no, I'm generally pissed with when you talk about when you make fun of Sancho and Anthony so much, and then these fuckers are the ones who score against Liverpool. I
Oh,
don't know why. I'm like, why? Why can't this be someone
that
else? Like,
Anthony spinning shot, right? You're talking about.
exactly, Anthony,
Oh my god.
Van Dijk and Endo were like right in the FA Cup final, FA Cup fourth round, whatever. They were like right there. Why do you let him spin? Why do you not spin, turn, and then take a shot? He never scored in the entire season.
Yeah, and that
And
was
then
his right foot that went
yeah,
in.
right foot, the weaker foot. I didn't. And
Yeah.
then the Sancho goal. I think Eric Ten Hag's second game or
Yeah,
something. I
yeah,
think
Oh,
yeah.
at
he
home.
sat
Third
down
game.
Gomez or someone. That one.
And
Like,
Milner.
fully dribbled
Milner,
in
Yeah.
the
yeah.
box and then faked one and two
Or
and
He
dribble?
then.
was
No,
shooting goals
Van
and
Dijk.
not the goal.
Yeah, exactly. Van Dijk was doing something, and then Milner was doing something else. I have no fucking clue what happened, and they just scored.
Yeah,
Oh my god! And shit.
that's it. Only highlight reel, bro. That's it.
Exactly. These
Only
are the
highlight.
highlights. These are
Yeah,
the highlights. That's it.
there is
So,
Get
nothing else. But I mean, Sancho is also still very young, and he didn't get called up to the Euros in spite of whatever crazy season that he had in CL or Dortmund.
Mhm.
nothing,
Uh,
bro. He didn't
so
have
I think
anything.
it says a lot about these players.
Like, there's something
Like,
about his mentality that just throws me off every single time. Like, everywhere he's gone, like, even Dortmund has said the same thing in the press, like the players, that Sancho has this habit of coming late to trainings. He has this habit of, like, being the one who's the slacker. Like, he has that bad boy image to him in the dressing room, and that is not
he thinks he's
something.
a rapper. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
he's not.
Yeah, coming late to
Dude,
trainings
I'm
and
looking
playing
at his
FIFA, that's
career
not what does.
stats. I'm looking literally at his career stats, and bro, he played 24 games this season, 3 goals and 3 assists. He played
24.
seven
Wait.
games in the
Yeah.
Champions League and scored 1 goal. That 1 goal we saw. He played
Mhm.
14 games in the Bundesliga and scored 2 goals and 3 assists. And he played 3 Premier League games and nothing.
That's it, right?
Those are not really like.
This is not a
I think he
Eric Ten
was.
Hag problem or a Manchester United problem. This is a player problem, attitude problem.
I know. I know. Seemed like that. But anyway,
At
Yeah.
I
least,
think he was
bro,
also not that great yesterday, right? I think means he didn't.
He
He
was
didn't
invisible.
stand out.
invisible.
He was invisible. I thought at least he would be substituted for Royce, but I don't think he was still on the
Adeyemi
field
was
for
out.
some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, I think Brand ran the show yesterday
Hmm.
fully for Dortmund, which is fine. But dude, here's the thing, right? 1-on-1, Sancho is not good. Like that's why like one and he doesn't have the pace to beat Mendy. He doesn't have the pace to beat Kamavinga. And you can only do so much trickery in front of Kamavinga and like Mendy. You know what I mean? Like you'll get the ball clipped off you. So, like, yeah, that's the thing, right? If you have too much individual quality in a team like Madrid, and in Premier League, there's a lot of quality. You can't fucking run. You can't do all this random shit in Premier League, bro. Like Alfie Doughty will catch you. You know what I mean from Luton,
Yeah.
and he'll fuck you. Like if you do that shit. I mean, yeah,
Anyways.
no disrespect. Doughty's a good player, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
there's
Right,
a
right.
lot
Sancho
of good players.
Sancho needs to sort of get his game up. But like moving back to Madrid, right? Like we got this announcement today that Madrid's biggest star ever was signed from this Farmers League called PSG, where Mbappe is finally a
Treble
Madrid
winner.
player. Yeah. What do you guys think about it? Was there any doubt, first of all, that Mbappe is probably not going to Madrid and going to Manchester United, for example? Or,
Dude, I thought he was going to Saudi, bro, at one
or I don't
point.
Dude,
know. Yeah.
as I was saying, the Man United will definitely sign Mbappe in 2032 for 700k.
Let's go.
They're drafting the contract
Yes.
papers as we speak right now.
We will get
Mbappe,
Mbappe when he becomes
Garnacho,
like
and
Cavani.
Yeah, exactly. No, but to answer your question, I think I don't know what Real Madrid are trying to do, doing this to themselves, right? I think
I
you have
think
Mbappe, you have the front line of Vini Jr., you have Rodrigo, Bellingham, and you have that kid from Brazil, Endrick or someone. You
yeah.
know, I, what else are you trying? Because is there anything else apart from dominating the Champions League for so much? What else are you trying to achieve right now by signing Mbappe?
Upper of
You're
16.
everyone accepts that you're the top dog. Everyone knows. There's no denying it. There's no argument whatsoever, right? What are you
Yeah.
trying to prove? What are you
Prayag,
trying to get at in
Prayag's
terms of?
tampon is on fire right now, as in So-
No, but
No, but
I'm just
it makes
okay.
perfect sense, right? What we were discussing, no? Because
Mhm.
Madrid is a squad which is just collecting good players and letting them express on the field. Like that's what Carlo
Right.
Ancelotti is doing. And who
Mhm.
is a better player than Mbappe to just like come and be a just do his thing and like score goals and like make the team better overall, right? So it
Dude,
makes.
honestly,
Mhm.
it's perfect for him because he doesn't have to do any grunt work in Real. Right?
Yeah.
He has, dude, the midfield now is going to look like Chouamani, Bellingham, and Kamavinga. Like
Right.
Modric and Cruz are done.
Modric, Cruz is
Mhm.
done, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they have Valverde in there also
Right.
somewhere. They have
Mhm.
Brahim Diaz in there somewhere in that midfield. Rodrigo on the right, Mbappe up top, and Vinicius on the left. And Arda Güler on the bench, and Joselu,
So you're
and
saying
Endrick.
Vinny,
And Hendrik.
Mbappe, and Rodrigo, all three
Rodrigo.
start. So where is
All three
Bellingham?
start
He's
up
playing
front.
in the midfield.
Midfield. He's
But
playing
this
Cam,
entire
midfield.
season, okay. So you're saying Bellingham
And
is better
then,
off in the midfield. Interesting.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I feel like he's 19, so he can play whatever right now. Like he's just been signed,
Mm.
and all those boys have won 5 CLs. He'll play wherever they tell him to play. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean? Right now.
Mbappe is the least successful player in that squad in terms of trophies. Just saying.
True.
What?
Only World Cup, right?
I
And
mean,
and the
yeah.
treble.
World Cup and domestic treble, farmers treble.
Domestic trouble. And then imagine you do all that, and then the year after, Alonso signs for them. Like, what more do
That
you
is,
need? Like, it's like,
it's a dynasty.
what are you trying to prove? What are you trying to get at? And then if you do that, at least like in a team in a Premier League or something, then I get it because there's this constant competition. People come. There's so much money involved, and you have to kind of future proof yourself. I get that, but what's up with La Liga, man? And I think with Champions League as well, I don't see a point. But okay, let them go. Let them have their fun because I remember how much Madrid suffered in 2000 in Champions League, especially from 2004 in that Galactico era when they signed every player, Ronaldo,
Every boy.
Figo,
Yeah.
Beckham, whoever. They were they were losing to fucking Lyon and some German club Wolfsburg in round of 16. They are not going beyond. I think even the first season when Ronaldo and Kaká signed, they lost to Lyon in the round of 16. So they had this huge trauma at that point of time in terms of because that's why that thing it was a big huge thing La Decima, the 10th or whatever, right? And then I think they're trying to make sure it doesn't ever repeat because look at the way they kind of completely overhaul the midfield, right? Like because they had Cruz, Modric, and Casemiro. They exactly knew when they have to get rid of Casemiro. They got rid of him, and they signed
Yeah.
Chouameni and Valverde and
Dude,
the
35
and
million from
Camavinga.
Monaco.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
exactly. Yeah, and they got everyone, and now it's a cruise control. I mean, they just don't stop, man. I mean, it's like they don't stop
They are
to
just.
smell to enjoy the you keep saying those things, right? Like wait, stop for a second and enjoy the roses or whatever. They
Yeah.
don't do that shit. No
Hunger.
roses for them.
Yeah.
It's just next season, next season, next season. Even Florentino Perez yesterday was saying, "Oh, we have to go for 16th." Like, fuck off, dude. Like, you just won the 15th
I
league,
mean,
15th Champions League yesterday. Enjoy it for a second. No, the entire mentality is what next? What next? What next?
I mean,
Yeah.
winning the UCL is like winning a league for them, right? So it's
Yeah.
not a one-off thing that happens and then you celebrate like mad. It's like BAU, like it's like the normal thing that's supposed to happen for a team like Madrid.
Yeah.
Dude, I
But
feel
even
bad for
even in the
Dortmund,
even in the press conference
honestly.
after the match, like we was when they were like interviewing the players and all, Bellingham was like, yeah, like in throughout the season, like in the dressing room whenever we used to talk, all these guys would be like, oh, I have 5 Champions League, I have 6 Champions League with this team and so on, and he's like, I could not contribute to the conversation at all. So now I feel like I can at least contribute to the conversation. Like that is the mentality of players who are winning a Champions League and like, oh, I can talk in the dressing room now. Like what? Where do you even go with this?
The levels that go into it. Yeah, I mean, dude, Alaba wins his second CL after Bayern. So sort of crazy
Yeah.
that
Cruz has
sort of
what, five
crazy
now?
that
5 or 6?
Six, man. He
Six.
was doing that
Yeah.
six celebration
Yeah.
yesterday, six, and everything, and six
yeah.
and Modric. Ancelotti has six, man. They have the same number of Champions Leagues as Liverpool. I was like, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck, man? I mean, I always thought, like because this used to be like a a thing for Liverpool fans because when we didn't win anything after the 2005 Champions League final, we thought, okay, we made a deal with the devil that okay, everything that we all the luck we had in the world, we kind of exhausted in Istanbul at that time, and then we didn't win anything for the next like till Klopp came in, right? That's the deal we made, and then I think the deal actually was with Ancelotti like because we kind of humiliated him so much from 3-0 coming back from 3-0 down and that fucker goes on and says okay fine you did that to me now I'm going to win the same number of Champions Leagues as you win in your entire history.
Yeah, sort
It's
of
like
nuts how that
I
how
think
that
we should
trophy
all
all
just
works.
stop watching football. We should go to American football or something. Like what is
Back to
this?
IPL.
Yeah, IPL, bro.
I,
World Cup दिखते हैं
I
best.
can't do Sunrisers again, bro. Sorry.
Sunrisers, oh my god, that team.
Typical United shit show. Like same thing happens week in week out.
But yeah,
Yeah.
anyways, let's go away from this washed club where the jersey is also completely washed and white. But yeah, like let's just move on and come back to like home ground, come back to PL. We are seeing some
Mhm.
crazy manager announcements and signings happening. Like I feel this is one of those exciting times where even the manager signings are so interesting and not just the player signings. Like we saw this Mascara dude go to Chelsea now. Like what do you think? Like do you think that's a Enzo Maresca to Chelsea is gonna be a good? It's gonna be a hit.
Dude, I haven't heard. I mean, very honestly, like I haven't followed Championship or Leicester, so I have no idea who that guy was. To be very honest, and for some reason, Todd Bowley thinks he's this next second coming of Christ. So let him think that way. I don't. Again, I think basically what he wants is a yes man, and that's exactly the reason why he fired Tuchel. Because
Yep.
I read some article in Athletic because he wanted someone where he wanted a person who can agree with him,
Puppet.
who says yes to him all the time, and a puppet basically, and that's exactly why he rocked the boat with Tuchel, and and I think even the same that was the same thing with Pochettino as well because he was given players who probably he did not even know they were existing because Chelsea had like a roster of an American football team and people were like random people playing and they bought like Casado or whoever for hundreds of millions and they were not fitting into the Pochettino master plan tactical
Yep.
plan, right? So I think he wanted someone who will not question him so much and he got someone Leicester probably was a good example for him to kind of because okay he got them promoted and all that, right? So again I don't have any idea how it's going to turn out. um,
Yeah.
let him go and play.
Dude, yeah, I mean, dude, Pochettino, I was telling Sid this yesterday. Pochettino is like was the most expensive babysitter of a coach that that did a job last year, and dude, man, he did it well, bro. Like he did it better than Ten Hag last year. like you were saying about, like, like an American football. Like, dude, there's no tactic. They had more squad than that could fit in a dressing room. Can you imagine? Todd Bowley is like, you only have 10, 20 players, huh? Like in the US, you have 50, bro. Like, what are you doing?
But this Todd Bowley has fired three managers already. Like he's fired Tuchel, he's fired Potter. He, there's a mutual agreement to like fire Pochettino.
Poch, yeah. I
But
mean, he wanted fire Poch, and Poch is like, fuck you, I'm only leaving.
yeah, I mean you
Yeah.
saw that like where Poch basically refused to shake Todd Bowley's hand, no, at the end, and that
Yes.
that just showed it. Like the Poch is like, I'm done with this shit. I'm going. You guys can continue with
Yeah.
your
Bullshit.
clown show.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Dude, I think even so. For example, if you look at the managers, if you look at the Chelsea and
Thoughts on
United
Todd Bowley
United
being backed
project.
by a Roman secretly.
Maybe
Crazy.
just trying to kind of fuck him up, but
Yeah.
look at this, right? I think if you look at Chelsea and United and how they finished the seasons, Chelsea had a crap of a season, but they finished fifth and they got Europa League or Conference League right now, and that should count for something when making a decision, right? Because the reason why Eric Ten Hag is not sacked right now is because you won the FA Cup, because of optics, because of PR and everything, right?
Optics. Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. And I think that's where, I mean, it's kind of impressive from Todd Bowley that he doesn't give a shit about optics. He doesn't give a shit, like, because Pochettino had more of a, a credit in his bank that he got Chelsea to where they were in the league, and technically, again, leaving away the cup run, but technically United did. I mean, Chelsea did have a better season than United,
Oh,
but Todd Bowley didn't give a shit. He just like fired him just because he wouldn't listen.
But
And United are still debilitating right now because they have a FA Cup. They won the FA Cup this year and their Carabao Cup last year. They're still thinking, okay, can we just give him one more season and see how it plays out? I don't know.
if
I mean,
okay, coming to Ten Hag then, like if you actually sack Ten Hag, then who do you get in? Do you get Pochettino in because he's sacked from Chelsea? Do you get Tuchel in because after like he had a decent season with Bayern, but he should have done better, honestly? Or like do you keep Ten Hag, or do you get some random new person? Like if you see right now, there's so many clubs looking for managers, and nobody has even given a whiff about Roberto De Zerbi right now. Like Bayern have gone and signed Vincent Company, but there was like not even a single rumor about De Zerbi going to Bayern or De Zerbi going to Chelsea or somewhere. Nothing. Kieran McKenna, Pochettino, Company, these are the kind of managers who are sort of going around the table. So what do you think? Like, in your as a Liverpool fan, I mean, of course, you would probably say Ten Hag in because like Ten Hag is such a shit manager, this that. But like, footballing terms, what do you think?
I mean, I think they should be all over Pochettino, don't you think? I think his CV, and because I think again, even when Ole was getting sacked that season, it was all about Pochettino and who will get Pochettino, right? At that point of time,
And
United were
United
craving
and
for him.
yeah, United were debating between Pochettino and Ten Hag, and they picked Ten Hag.
Pick Ten Hag
Yeah.
for some, and again it didn't work out. But again, I think Pochettino, you should just look at what he has done, man. I think, especially with Chelsea, with such of a mess of a squad, and United is not that big of a mess. I mean, in the backroom staff and in the way the club is run, probably United is a bigger mess. But on field, in terms of players, at least United are better compared to Chelsea in terms of the player dynamics and everything. And if Poch can do a job as good as that and then get them finished in the Champions, in the Europa League spots, then why can't he do the same thing with United? And they should be, again. People would say Tuchel again, but Tuchel would be like a short-term fix, like 1 or 2 seasons will be good, amazing, great, and then he'll fall out with the ownership. So it's not going to be a long-term fix, Tuchel. But Pochettino, people should be all over him. And Roberto De Zerbi, again, I'm not sure what's the deal with him. His Brighton haven't. I think they finished like 10th or 11th this season. I was
Yeah.
hoping that at least they'll be close to some 6th or 7th or right outside of Europe, but that didn't happen. I mean, if you give good backing to managers like Pochettino and De Zerbi, the kind of players not leaving them, and signing the players that they want to be signed, I don't know why he can't succeed. And United should be looking at Poch, and I don't know who else is available right now.
Vamsi, I know you have a lot of thoughts on this. Go on. Don't hold back.
uh, dude, I'm zooming out like and thinking about it, right? If I am United right now, and if Chelsea are getting a new manager, Liverpool are getting a new manager, Arsenal are gonna keep theirs. City might get a new manager next season. Uh, Tottenham gonna Tottenham, whatever. And I think Unai Emery. I think these are the top coaches in the Premier League. Like honestly, right now, Deserby's out, Company's out, McKenna's at Ipswich, Sean Dyche is at Everton. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace. If
Why
like,
are you saying top managers and Sean Dyche? Like,
Yeah.
is it a
but
thing?
I
Because
think
he
Sean
beat
Dyche is a
Liverpool
top manager, bro.
in the
I
derby.
Exactly.
honestly
Okay.
think top manager.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, I mean, he's better than Company. If we're talking about top
We have
managers.
top managers in Bundesliga now, Company and Xabi
Yeah.
Alonso.
See, think about it, right? Ten Hag is one of the guys in the he's one of the coaches in the Premier League who's known his squad the longest, right? So if you have any hope or chance, right, to finish in the top four, you would actually bet on Ten Hag because everybody else is new and they're working with a new squad, and it's a first season for like all of them. So if you sack him now, and you also now if you sack and get somebody in, somebody new, could be a Deserby, could be a Pochettino, could be a Tuchel, could be Ruben Amorim. Remember the hype that was around this guy?
Isn't he
Fucking
going to West Ham? Wait, West Ham already has that guy, Roman
Lopetegui
Pellet.
guy.
Yeah, Lopetegui. Sorry.
Lopetegui,
Yeah,
yeah.
also Lopetegui top coach. There's not that many like what do you call top managers that know their squad really well in the Premier League right now. So if I were United and these are the options that I have, I would stick with Ten Hag because you don't have to fire him. Your squad contracts are up. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and your squad contracts are up. You can actually do a squad overhaul. I was telling this to Sid yesterday. It doesn't really matter who the manager is. You need 10 good signings at a club, Abhinav. Like a lot of top clubs have done it. United have made 5 investments: Anthony, Sancho, Casemiro. Uh, who else,
All three
bro?
have to be reinvested upon, by the way. Just
All
saying.
three have to be reinvested, and they all went for very big money. Uh, and
Oh,
yeah, and Hoyland sort of paying off, and Mount I don't know yet, right? Like 5 big investments went into the Ten Hag
Martinez.
team. Martinez, yeah, okay, Martinez good. Onana might come through. He's not like the worst player, but he did cost United so much this season. So a lot of investment has been made, right, with the manager that's in here. If you don't give him time, then now you have to do all the signings again and compete with these boys, with Chelsea and all these clubs that have made the 10 signings and have like gotten a new manager in. So its question is, where do you play? Do you play where these where these old clubs are playing, or do you play where Arteta and Pep are playing, where they know their squad and they know
Yeah.
exactly what they need for the league,
Okay.
right?
I mean, there are
So
three things that Ineos
my
can.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was
No,
just.
no, no. You said you go.
Yeah, I'll go. I was just going to add on Vamsi. So I think there are
yeah,
three things Ineos can do right now in this situation. One is
yeah,
they can just let it be and, let Ten Hag stay out for one more year. And if they do
yeah.
that, then it basically means that Ten Hag is the scapegoat manager. We will let him like take all the blame while we like buy those 5, 6 more
Might be
players who will
rebuild. Yeah,
actually come good for the squad next season, like season after.
yes,
Or you
yeah,
give Ten Hag a new contract right now, committing to him saying you are our manager for the rebuild, which is unlikely to happen. Or they
yeah.
get a new manager in this season itself, who again they commit
Start
to saying
investing.
we are our rebuild manager. And then the problem with that is, while in the course of the next season, United will not be a top level team at all, nowhere close, and you are still going to be in the process of the rebuild. And you saw what happened with Arteta at Arsenal when he went through, right? Like those 2 seasons were horrible, and you were seeing Arteta out, this, that, all the time. So I think it's a very tricky situation, to be honest. Like you either keep Ten Hag and make him scapegoat for one year, and then like get somebody else to,
Bye bye. Yeah,
yeah, take the ship from there, or you fully commit to some person. But I don't see that person Like Pochettino, maybe, but I don't see him as a rebuild manager, to be very honest, as a fan at
Hmm.
least. So yeah,
Yeah, same. The thing is, we can't commit to a new manager because we don't have operators at the club, firstly, and we don't have the players, bro. We don't have the players. Honestly, we just don't have the players.
we don't
Like,
even have the
how,
people taking decision on the managers right now. Like Ashworth
yeah,
and Berada and all are not even in the club right now. So
yeah. So we're not ready to do the step that you're trying to say, where you get in a rebuild manager and back him. So what
Hmm.
do? You don't do anything, right? Then
yeah,
you
just
stick with what
just
you
wait.
have.
Yeah,
No,
If you
my
can't,
only question at this point is like, would your stance would it have still been the same if Ten Hag didn't win the FA Cup?
probably not.
dude,
We
I
wouldn't have
always
been
thought,
saying it like
listen,
this. I wouldn't have been saying it like this at least.
yeah, like, so like when Ten Hag came in, I realized that
Hmm.
this guy is gonna stay for 3 years for sure. Ten Hag
Hmm.
is not one of those joke coaches that you can just fuck off easily. It's not
Yeah,
easy. Like, it's not easy at all. And when he gets, here's the thing, right? When you need him the most, he'll come through. That's the problem with this guy. Like, if his job is on the line, he'll come through. He's gonna win the tactical battle. But equally, I think Ten Hag knows now that, like, that Brentford result that United had, that it was a 1-1 draw, but it was a horrible, horrible game. We played Liverpool 0-0. Horrible game for United. Had nothing in the game. So there's some games in the Premier League that have happened where, irrespective of, see, if you don't have a system, right? If you don't have a system, then only thing that is left is a tactical battle, like
Hmm.
you versus the manager, because you just
hmm,
have to set up and do it game by game, because there's no system. You just have to set up game by game. If United have lost so many games, right, without a system, that means
hmm.
Ten Hag has been out tacticked in the game. Like, he just lost a tactical battle on the day. And that raises eyebrows, man. When you lose a tactical battle to Brentford that bad, raises questions. When you lose 4-0 to Crystal Palace for Oliver Glasner, who's been in the club fucking 2 to 3 weeks in,
Yeah,
right? Tactical battle lost fully. If it's 4-0, you've lost the tactical battle fully.
right, right.
So there's questions around, like, can, fine, we get it, you don't have a system, fine, we get it that you have injuries, but if you can't figure out for 120 minutes without any of this, what are you doing there as a manager? Tell me. Like, I get all this, but, like, what are you doing as a manager today, right? And I think that's the question, that stubbornness of him sticking to his
Hmm.
guns and not being changing tactics, right? Maybe it'll work in the Eredivisie. Sure, it'll work in the Eredivisie. The quality of opposition is not as good, right?
Hmm.
You can use Haller and Tadic as cheat code and fucking get through. But you can't do that in the Premier League. You can't just be like, no, I'm going to be stubborn about my rules. Dude, at the end of the day, it's about results.
Yeah,
And results give momentum, and momentum will give you like a nice purple patch.
exactly. I mean, I think you can only be stubborn in the Premier League if your tactics are like really, really top notch. Like in the sense that
Yeah.
like where if you're like Pep or Klopp, like the high pressing or the controlled style of play, at that point you can be stubborn because again because I follow Liverpool
Because the
close, I can
style
see
of
how
play is implemented already. So you can be
exactly.
stubborn that, no, I want
Mhm.
to tactically play only this style of play because it
Exactly,
comes naturally to my team, right?
exactly.
But
Yeah.
but if conceding goals is what comes naturally to your team, which has happened, we're on fucking
Hmm.
-1 GD this year. Shameful, right? uh, then you have to understand that, oh, okay, like, the quality of opposition I mean, think about it. Ten Hag has never been in this situation, right?
Hmm.
And he's never been in the situation in Ajax. So what he stuck to what he did at Ajax, which is, no, stick to your policies. Yeah, you'll have a shit season. Yeah,
Hmm.
you'll know what players are good enough, and that's better than just tactically doing random shit, winning a game here and there, and you get nothing at the end of it. I see
Yeah.
his version, but
But
at
that's
a
not
club
gonna
like
work in
that,
the Premier League, right? That's
yeah,
what we are
You
seeing.
have to adapt, man. Premier League, you have to adapt. You have to keep changing because it's not because again, you can only if your tactics and your style of play have are proven and they've won some things, then people can give you that bandwidth. Okay, maybe you can stick to it and then see what. Because I myself was very frustrated last season with Klopp because we were sticking to that 4-3-3, that fullbacks inverting
Yeah.
and no
Yeah.
output, whatever. But he still stuck to it for some reason. And again, I think that kind of caused his downfall as well. But different topic.
I think we're talking about like functionality, like being a
Yeah.
functional team versus being like a what do you call it? Being like a proper setup, like a
Yeah.
tactical
Hmm.
setup of a team, right?
Right.
You're
Right.
not even functional. That means you have zero bear. If you're not functional, meaning you don't have Premier League quality players, which was
Right.
what the case was, right? We had no Premier League quality players. But I was telling Mr. Sid again yesterday, of all the big losses that United had, I was like, fuck it, let me open the team sheet, right? And the team sheets were not too bad, right?
They are respectable teams on paper, man. You have to be able to like get a better result from your team playing against a Brighton or a Brentford or a Crystal
Yeah.
Palace or some other random Luton town or something. You have to get a better convincing 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, whatever. You can't go like
Or sit in a
4-3.
low block for 90 minutes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you can coach a low block for 90 minutes, right? And dude, this came at a time where United desperately needed points and we were slipping from sixth.
Hmm.
And he
Yeah.
didn't, and he was still stubborn.
Yeah.
And had he not won the FA Cup, this stubbornness would have cost him his job.
I think
Straight up.
Ten Hag has a approval rate of what, 70%, like the
About
article
that.
that you shared.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I think everything skewed after the FA Cup win, and I
Yeah.
think most of it is coming from the point where what Vamshi alluded to earlier, right? I think
Yeah.
basically they're like, okay, let's just see. Basically, Gayapura, everything is done. There is nothing which is going to happen in the next season, where we'll become Premier League champions, or this is the last thing. Our legends are leaving. Something has to happen. As a good urgency, nahi hai. So
Hmm.
what we'll do is we'll just like not give him a new contract. Will his contract will be done next season, and because United doesn't need just some slight modifications on the coaching or on field, because they have a lot of things to do in the back room as well, in the back end, in terms of setup and how
Yeah.
their system works and all of that. So they'll be like, probably the only reason to not sack Ten Hag is to make sure that they'll get all the setup done behind the scenes, and then they'll see how the season goes. And then at that point, if you sack him or if you don't offer a new contract, or if you can talk to a new coach, for example,
Yeah.
Poch or whoever, and say, okay, no matter what happens, you're going to take over in the next summer. That probably is a good long term approach. Yeah, with Ten Hag, it's done. Yeah, you've won an FA Cup. You can the entire summer, all of everyone, everyone, all of you are happy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
that's what's going to happen because.
it's also a nice place to be in, right? To what you're saying, Abhinav, that you are getting you're keeping a temporary manager who's winning you random cups and trophies, but
Mhm.
like that just to keep the fans, pacified for the time being while you actually run the show behind the scenes and do a
Exactly.
proper rebuild. Yeah.
Mhm.
Bro, matlab, there is no stage setup even at United. Like the guys who are gonna set up the
Bro,
stage
we
are
have
us
a
not.
waterfall in our stadium. What are you saying?
Yeah,
That just shows you the state of the club right now.
there's just way too much shit going on at United, and I think Ten Hag is at the bottom of that list, and they'll be
Hmm.
going against the fans if they do this. So I
But
think best
anyways,
case scenario,
yeah.
run the player contracts out, run the manager contracts out, know exactly who you're gonna keep in your squad, and if Pep Guardiola leaves next season,
Hmm.
right? That would be the best time to start rebuilding because now you know who your competition is. Clearly, you know in the league, it's
Exactly.
just Arteta. There's a handful, two or three top managers, and you know the squads they have, and you just have to start competing with that,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's a better place to start versus now where you're competing with Liverpool, you're competing with Chelsea, you're competing with fucking Brighton also, I guess at this point. Una Emery, right?
No, not
You're
Brighton,
Yeah.
bro.
competing with Eddie Howe, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of boys in here, right? If you like just change your manager now, and there's no
Mm.
10 signing, there's no players at the club. Dude, Greenwood and Sancho, two of our attackers, don't even play at the club. You know what I mean? Both Premier League quality players, right?
How
So
did United get to this mess, man? I think this is like a carefully orchestrated mess. I was telling this to Sai yesterday. Like even if you make a diehard Liverpool fan the head of United, he wouldn't have been able to do as good a job as this to kind of to destroy the club.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
Anyway,
dude, it all stems from like player power, man, at United.
It's just
So
like
like,
the cultural issue, I think. Like the culture is just set up in a way that is nobody knows what is like the right thing to do, and there was such a big void left after Alex Ferguson left. Like he was the
Mhm.
guy who was literally running the entire club from like the backroom staff, from the actual board
everything.
meetings to the players and on the pitch, right? And then suddenly this one big figure goes, and you're left with that huge abyss that nobody knows what to do, and everybody is like a pundit. Everybody's like, no, I know what to do. And this is what happens. Like this, it's just like misprioritizing your player signings, going for like sponsorship deals and big names instead of like doing those interesting good proper like 30-40 million buys of players that other teams have done in the meantime. And that's how you reach in a position like this.
Yeah, and literally, if you don't, so if you haven't made 10 good signings in the last 10 years, bro, that's one signing on average, right? Over the last
Yeah,
10 years. If you haven't got even one right, Abhinav, then you end up with a squad. I mean,
Yeah,
what Sid was saying, right? You have this figure in the club that's absolute power, and then he leaves, and then the guy you get in gets sacked in the next 7 months. There's a huge power void there,
right.
and who's going to take it? The players are going to take it, of course.
Hmm.
There's no manager was like bullish enough to take it, and all these players were on long contracts. And then
Yeah,
Mourinho came in. He tried to get the power back. You know how that turned out. And then Ole came in, and then he's like, okay, fine, like, we'll keep player power normal.
vibes.
You saw how that turned out. And then Ten Hag came in, and he's like, fuck all this, I'm getting manager power back. Right, right. And see, anytime somebody tries to get the manager power back at United, there is so much toxicity because you made shit signings and they have player power.
but
It's
I think
it's
I
yeah,
think the entire thing of like having so much power in one person doesn't really work these days in the way in the Premier League of these days, because I see what it did to Klopp. Because initially when Klopp joined Liverpool, it was more of a
Head
duty
coach.
sharing sort of. He
Yeah,
was a coach first, and then the back room and everything with the transfer committee and everything, they were doing the transfers. It was a sharing responsibility, right?
yeah.
But then because Klopp's charisma and everything, he became more popular and he got that power. And then it's very hard to run a club all by oneself. And I think that's exactly where City are doing a very good job. Guardiola, as much as he is the face of the club and everything, all the transfers and everything are done by the Burgi, that guy, I can't pronounce his name, the director of football and
Kiki
everything.
Palestine.
Kiki, yeah. So all of those guys, right? I think they have a job sharing. They share all of the responsibilities. So I think even with United, that's what needs to happen. Keep Ten Hag now,
Yeah.
get all of it done, and then next season you would see where it is. Because exactly that's what they did with Liverpool too. With Arne Slot,
Yeah,
he is basically a head coach. He's not a manager. He has
not
his
a manager.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
He's not. He's on field and everything. So yeah, I think that should work out if United does it.
I think you're right. Like, you can't just. I was telling Sid yesterday about Edu Gaspar at Arsenal.
Mhm.
Dude, the first thing Edu did when he came to Arsenal was fucking fire Unai Emery. Right? It's crazy. Like, imagine like a new director of football comes and then
Mm.
he fires Emery. And dude, the players he signed, right? Like Odegaard on loan,
Mhm.
Martinelli for 7 million, Gabriel Jesus, right? Saka from the academy, Ben White, really good. Thomas Partey, really good. Declan Rice, really good.
Yeah,
Saliba, 35 million from Toulouse, like Saint Etienne. 35 million. What the fuck? Ramos, 25-30 million from Sheffield, right? The only dud out of all this was Pepe, and he was the most expensive one. Everything else
yeah,
worked out.
yeah. I mean
So,
that's expected. Yeah.
I'm telling you about 10 players that Edu signed before he hired Arteta.
That's what, right? So the model is that you sort of get the
After him,
yeah.
right?
No, go on.
Right? Yeah, he got Raya in the summer. That's the manager's version of it, right? Of getting the signings in. But the club itself made all like less than 50 million only except Pepe. They made all these signings, like 10 actual players. that will come to a peak, who irrespective of who the coach is. They sold Genduzi, they fucked. Dude, Aubameyang was a top scorer at Arsenal before. We all saw Aubameyang do all that crazy shit. They won the FA Cup just like United did. Shit season, win the FA Cup. Next thing what happens? Aubameyang gets fucked off. No captaincy, stripped of Aubameyang, given to Odegaard, right?
Yeah,
Lacazette, same thing, right?
with
Gets
same
fucked
same with
off.
Ozil.
Yeah, same with Ozil. Gets fucked off, and like Odegaard comes in, right? So there's all these investments that the club does, and I see it in that the Mourinho in that football heritage shit. He talks about it. He's like, look at Silva, look at De Bruyne, look at all these. Why these are investments from the past. Look at United players, where they play, if they play, how they play, all this shit, right? And he's still right. He's still right to
I
this day.
mean, we are gonna see 1 month or 2 months more of this, happen in the transfer window now, where like there are gonna be so many new rumors, like for every club, every manager, every team out there. And yeah, I mean, this is like the crazy season in football, right? Like every player is looking to go somewhere, and like it started with Mbappe right now, but like I wanted to like change the discussion a little bit. Like I wanted to go to Liverpool because we have our in-house Liverpool rep here. Like we Liverpool have appointed Arne Slot, and the Arne Slot is finally going to start working at Liverpool now. Has he already started? I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but like
yesterday. Yeah.
yesterday, right? Perfect. So like the transfer window is ahead of you. You have like a full, like you need to like sort of continue and do better than even last season. So like how does this work? Like what does Slot do?
I think one thing he definitely should do is to not make changes which are grandiose, like, because he should not, because the reason why he was appointed in the first place was to make sure that he doesn't rock the boat too much, because that's what would have happened if he have
Yeah,
appointed Alonso or Amorim, because they have a different style of play. And I think we will definitely have to sign a defender because Matip is done and Konate is
yeah,
kind of injury prone. So definitely one defender, maybe a left-footed defender. And then in midfield, we had a stopgap replacement in Endo last season. He worked out well. He did what he was supposed to do. But depending on the way he plays, right? Because if he sticks to 4-3-3, then definitely we have to sign a defensive midfielder. But if he shifts to 4-2-3-1, then I can definitely see McAllister and Curtis Jones and Trent being the pivot, the two behind the three, right? So maybe that will happen. And in terms of attacking options, I really think we only have one striker between Nunes and Jota and Diaz in
yeah.
terms of their output and their availability. We definitely
And
want to have a
what's gonna
striker.
happen to Salah? Like, is he staying? Is he going?
Yeah. I think I thought he was leaving.
Okay.
I thought that would be the prudent choice, because given his contract and where he is, and because it's ending, he only has 1 year left on his contract. Because next year he's going to do an Mbappe and he's going to leave for free. And maybe PSG can survive, but Liverpool can't survive leaving Salah on a free. So I'm thinking maybe, if again, depends on how the first preseason games, it depends on the first couple of weeks how the players see Slot and see their position in how Slot wants to play, and where this team is by Christmas or something, right? At that point, maybe I'm thinking if things go well, Salah will sign a contract, but if things go south, then I think he's gone, or he's going to leave on a free. So yeah, in terms of signings, definitely a defender, midfielder, depending on the style of play, and definitely one attacker, because our finishing is what cost us. Overall, I think I was reading a
Definitely.
stat. Is reading a stat that of the top 10 clubs, Liverpool is the only club which underperformed their XG
Wow.
over the course of season. Over the course of season, of the top 10 clubs, not United, not Chelsea, Liverpool is the only club. I think the XG was like 84 or something, and our actual goals were like 81 or 82 or something like that.
I mean, that's not far
So
off the mark, anyways. I think it's a
it's not far off
harsh
the mark,
stat.
but that's no, but that's the thing though. Let's see, Liverpool. This is the thing, right? The way Klopp played with Liverpool, it's that we are always conducive to concede more chances because of high pressing, because of the high line that we play. So our attackers have to be that extra 10% more clinical, because even though City and Arsenal, or for any other team, even though they are like we are still scoring the same amount of goals, we still have to kind of convert chances, because say a striker will convert a chance like 10% of the time generally, but our attackers, Liverpool, the way they play, the way they're more prone to conceding chances, I think we should be more clinical, and that's the way Klopp set us up. And maybe if Slot can tweak that and make sure that we are more defensively solid and not concede the first goal all the fucking time, then I think we should be okay. But yeah, we should buy a striker for sure, because I'm sick of Nunes and his missing chances and then just hitting right
We
at the
want the
target. Man. I
memes
mean,
coming,
I
bro.
see. No, but see, I don't hate Nunes. I mean, there's nothing to hate about him. I'm just sick of him. It's just that
Yeah.
he's not that guy. He's not that player. He's not a player who can win you the Champions League and Premier League. So I want a striker who can at least like finish a straightforward chance, not the difficult chance, not something out of the box. At least the one where you're just facing your goalkeeper. I want those things to be
Right.
on target. So
You
yeah,
want like a simple, no frills striker like every other team in the
exactly.
Premier League. Yeah.
Like an Ivan
Yeah.
Tony, or someone, or maybe that guy Isaac. I mean, Isaac is actually at this point he's full of frills and he's very good at finishing. Someone like Isaac or someone like Tony, right? I can just kind of go there, be there, and just finish it
Watkins,
off.
bro.
And I
Ollie
think
Watkins.
Watkins is
He's
27,
top
28,
stock,
man.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
But
He's about
even
27,
Tony is
28.
28, right? 28, 29.
He is?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so if that is the case, I think right now Edwards and all the Liverpool backroom staff, I think they will be looking at a striker in the range of 24, 25, because I don't think they'll sign anyone
Long-term
on huge
striker,
wages at
yeah.
28, long term basically.
But like, what are your predictions for Liverpool then? Like with Arne Slot, like we have had this manager announced like for a couple of months now almost. Where do you see Liverpool finishing? Top 4?
Top 4, I think, is a minimum at this point.
Minimum,
Is a
okay.
I think minimum. I don't. Again, if the only way he can survive not finishing out of top 4 is if the team plays well, and then you miss it out on the last day, or by I don't know,
Yeah.
just by a point or two, right? But if you're out of the top 4 consideration by January, February, and if you're playing shit football, and I think people will take a long, hard look at what he has done. But
Slot out.
again, it's too soon. Yeah, slot out. Yeah, but it's too soon to say, man. I think I don't even know how he plays, because I'm so caught up. I'm so consumed by all Klopp leaving, and I think the last
The
couple of months
hangover
it's
is
just
still
about Klopp.
over.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, I'm not even like worried about transfers right now. I don't know who we sign. I don't know who we'll sign or what we'll sign and everything, right? Because even now I haven't seen a proper interview from him, like to kind of warm up to the guy. It's all Klopp. Maybe at some point after the Euros, I think the hangover will come down and then we'll start thinking about stuff. But to answer your question, yes, definitely, maybe top 4. Again, the cups may or may not hold that much value. I think he'll be judged on top 4 and the style of football.
I think top 4 is going to be all the bald managers in the league. So like, we'll have Pep, we have Ten Hag, we have Enzo Maresca and Arne Slot. That's the top 4 for next year.
The real leaders are the barbers in England.
Yeah. we
Oh my
are
God.
going back to BPL, Baldy's Premier League.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's a wrap. We've covered a lot of different topics today. Thank you all for watching and tuning into Full Time Banter. We'll catch you again next week, same time. Thank you so much.